And the experts just continue here at the Application Architecture Summit. This time we have with us Mirza Salihekic, a Senior Product Marketing Manager at Software AG. Welcome, Mirza.
Hi, Vance. Happy to be here.
And we're happy to have Mirza with us this morning. He is a cloud application expert. He is going to give us an insight into the convergence of integration, automation, and app architectures that are changing today's business. And in particular, in his session, Power Up Your Apps with Embedded Integration, Mirza is going to tackle some of the issues that I think many of us here today have to face when they're looking to accelerate the delivery of their cloud or hybrid application. We all know that apps need to communicate with either other apps or containers or data services in some way. And in-app integration is becoming more and more popular as a method. However, often it becomes time-consuming and complicated, not counting the fact that design can be difficult, but maintenance can also be tricky. In this session, Mirza is going to resolve a lot of those challenges. He's going to talk to us about Software AG's approach to in-app integration, how you can enhance your apps with seamless connectivity to third-party apps, and easily plug in integration capabilities into your product to accelerate time to market and reduce maintenance costs. And just a quick reminder before I hand it to Mirza, you can download his slides. I highly recommend you do. They're terrific. They'll take you through the architecture and the product implementation. We've also got some terrific white papers and other downloads. You've registered with us already this morning, so you can click those at your leisure and just download them for your own use after the show. And we love to let you connect with our experts. So to connect with Mirza, just type in the submit a question box. And now with that, Mirza, let me turn it to you and tell us about how to power up your apps with embedded integration.
Thank you, Vance. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Mirza Salihic. I'm a Senior Manager of Product Marketing at Software AG. Software AG has been around for 50 years. It was founded in 1969 in the belief that data will change the world, so we see ourselves as data pioneers. We have been consistently recognized as a customer-centric leader in many innovative and digital technology categories, from our integration and API management tools to our industry-leading IoT platform. And we can cite over 50% of the Fortune 100 companies as our customers. So there are more than 2 million developers and 2.5 million users out there working daily with our products. Additionally, we have more than 4.7 thousand employees and around $1 billion in annual revenue. More than 10,000 organizations have adopted Software AG products to innovate solutions, to build applications on-premises and in the cloud across all industries, spanning both private and public sectors. These customers trust in us and rely on Software AG to help them continue their journeys as digital enterprises. And speaking of our customers, they have a lot to do with helping us achieve the leadership position that we have for many years. As an example here in Forrester Wave, not only in API management and B2B integration, but also in iPaaS and hybrid integration market. And one of the latest trends that we currently see in integration market in particular is embedded or headless integration. And this is our topic for today. So I will start with why this topic is so relevant and what kind of problem it can solve for you. And after that, I'm going to give you a brief overview of webMethods IO Embed, the product that we are offering to our customers for this specific use case. So embedded integration is a new deployment model for integrations that we see emerging in the market. We see more and more companies providing these integrations with third-party SaaS apps and cloud services within their own offerings, within their own application experience. So this can be interesting, especially if you're a software engineer, a product manager, but also for architects, CTOs, and CIOs among you. Especially if you're working for a SaaS company, but also actually any other company that is providing a cloud-based application to their internal or external users, whether we talk about mobile app or web application or web portal. Embedded integration can help solve some of the main problems that you might have in this case, which are functionality gaps in your application that you need to close, speed to market, but most importantly, user adoption and user retention. And one of the main reasons for these problems is the approach to integration. So let's take a look at why is that. As you know, today we have everything in the cloud. We use cloud apps for different kinds of private and work-related purposes. In average, we use 35 cloud services only for work purposes. On one hand, this is of course great because cloud apps are easy to use. They are accessible anytime from any device, etc. But at the same time, this can become really challenging for the users because you have content and functionalities that are spread out across multiple applications, across different user interfaces. So as a user, you need to switch from an application to get things done. For example, while you use Salesforce to create sales opportunity, you need to switch to another application to do your expenses, or another to organize your week, and so on. So this is not really productive, and you are losing time and you are getting frustrated. This is why more and more SaaS vendors are implementing connectivity with other third-party applications into their own apps to provide their users with connectivity to their favorite apps and make them more productive. Like, for example, Slack or Microsoft Teams, where you can start Zoom meeting or connect with Salesforce without leaving Slack or Microsoft Teams application itself. So the goal of integration in this case is to remove obstacles for your users, like disjointed experience, low productivity, and most importantly, this is a great way to provide more functionalities and make your products stick better. But one of the biggest challenges for product teams still seems to be integration. So just imagine that you are engineering lead or product manager for a SaaS application, if you are not already. Your team needs to build new features. You need to improve user experience. You need to provide maintenance and support. You want to increase your user base. You want to ensure quality and user satisfaction. And you need integrations with multiple third-party apps. You need to do this efficiently, and you need to be fast because your competitors are not waiting, of course. But you do not have enough resources. So this is really a challenge where you need to prioritize what is more important, core functionalities or integration with third-party apps. So do you want to release the features you need for your core product on time, or do you want to spend effort on building integrations? When it comes to integration, you have two options, basically a classic build or buy dilemma. Either you build your own, which means that your team will own 100% of the code. You need to maintain this code. You need to take care of the infrastructure, security, scalability, and so on. This can make sense for one integration, but every new integration will mean additional burden. You need to explore the API of the app that you want to integrate. You need to build, test your integration. You need to monitor the API later on to make sure that if the API changes, your integrations won't break. And this is something that takes a lot of effort because you need to do it for every single integration. So it costs money and time that is being taken away of the core product. So with growing number of cloud applications out there and growing number of integrations you want to offer to your users, this is becoming a real pain. The other option is embedded approach, where you can use a solution that helps you do this more efficiently, allowing you to leverage ready-to-use app connectors and intuitive tooling for building workflows so you can do this much faster, where infrastructure is hosted for you and you do not have to struggle with security or scalability issues. And this is exactly what we are addressing with webMethods.io Embed. The product is based on webMethods.io integration, our integration platform as a service. So it is cloud-based. It provides extended capabilities for embedded or headless integration. It is designed to enable you to easily implement in-app integrations with a variety of third-party cloud apps directly and seamlessly within your application experience. So we offer really a huge number of connectors to these applications, and they are maintained by us. So you do not have to monitor the APIs on a regular basis. So for developers, it solves the problem of building custom native integrations and reduces related costs for implementing and maintaining these integrations. Because with Embed, you can do this much more efficiently. And on the other hand, it solves the problem for your users, allowing them to do more with your application without the need to switch to another app. So it enables them to become more productive and keeps them engaged within your application. One of our customers has achieved tremendous results by using embedded integration. This is a large communication technology company. They have a well-known collaboration cloud app where connectivity to other apps is really a key. So their problem was that they had a very high competitive pressure by existing and new competitors entering the market with new innovative offerings. So they needed really to move faster with innovation and add integrations quicker and more efficient than before. So after evaluation, they decided to replace the open source solution they used before to build the integrations with our embedded solution. And this helped them to provide new integrations much faster. They managed to launch more than 33 integrations in just 4 months. And at the same time, they reduced their development costs by 50%. So these are really impressive results. To summarize the first part, embedded integration can help you provide your users with connectivity to their favorite apps by using in-app integrations. You are able to accelerate your time to market. You can deliver integrations much faster. You can reduce development and maintenance costs. You will provide new integrations in a seamless user experience, allowing your users to become more productive. And this will help you increase user adoption and retention and gain better insights into how your integrations are being used. And most importantly, your product team can finally focus on building the core product, which is actually what they like the most. Now let's take a look at how this works. I'll give you a brief overview of the product, and we'll go through the different steps that you need to do in order to get your integrations available to the users. So let's first talk about the product landscape on a very high level, just for you to understand the purpose of different components that we deliver with the product. So what you see at the top is the front-end side of the things. This could be your mobile app, your web portal, any other cloud-based applications that you provide to your users, whether internal users or external users. In order to embed the integrations into these apps, one of the main components you will need is our embeddable JavaScript SDK. I'll go into a little bit more detail in a couple of minutes. At this point, I think it's just important to understand that, as you can see on the left side, you can use the SDK to power one or multiple applications within app integrations. For example, you might have a customer-facing mobile app and internal portal for your employees where you want to use embedded integration. And in this case, you would embed the SDK into both of these applications. So this is possible. In order to help you to get started and understand how the SDK works, we deliver a demo portal, which is also powered by the SDK. This is what you see on the top right side. So this is front-end side of the things, where your users are interacting with your applications and trigger integrations. Now let's move down to the backend. Our embedded integration solution is based on our iPaaS, our integration platform as a service. And to simplify things, we are showing here only two main elements of our iPaaS, which are, of course, the infrastructure that is required and that is optimized for scale and reliability. And this is where your workflows are being executed. On top of that, we have the workflow designer, which is where you build your flows. It is very easy to use, drag and drop, allowing you to quickly build workflows you need and expose them to your application. And finally, you see on the top our embed engine, which is delivered only for embed use cases and which is actually powering the SDK. So wrapping all of this is our administration and monitoring application called Software AG Cloud, which provides you with a central management and for maintenance of your tenant. So these are the key components that you will get in order to make your embedded projects successful. So we get this question very often, and I would like to briefly touch upon it. So what is the difference between iPaaS and embedded integration? Basically, you can think of embed as an embeddable iPaaS solution. It provides you with all the benefits of an iPaaS, but on top of that, you get additional capabilities to easily embed these integrations into your application using our SDK on the client side and embed portal, which is a part of the iPaaS. So while iPaaS is really meant to be used for orchestration between multiple applications and systems, embed is designed to enhance the connectivity within a single application by using what we call in-app or built-in integrations. And the main goal is to increase the developer and user productivity. So now we talked about the components of the product, about the difference between iPaaS and embed. Now let's see how it works. What are the main steps you would need to go live with your embedded integrations? So first of all, in order to get started, I encourage you to go to our website, softwareag.com/embed, where you can reach out to us and we will connect you with one of our experts who will assist you with a setup and kind of a project plan to ensure that you are most successful with our embed product. Once you have your tenant and everything is set up, the second step is to build your workflows and configure which of them you want to expose. Once this is done, you will be able to configure the users and you will be able to track the usage and manage them from our admin portal. In the fourth step, you can define the design of your user-facing experience. You will be able to customize the look and feel of the forms for these integrations to match your brand and corporate design. Before deploying to production, you will be able to test your workflows in a test environment to make sure that everything works as expected. And finally, you are done and able to go live with your integrations, enabling your users to run them directly from your application. So these are basically the 6 steps required for successful implementation of embed. Now, let me show you some of these capabilities. First of all, I would like to recommend to use our demo portal to get familiar with how embed works and get a feel of what you can do with it. Demo portal provides you with sample look and feel, the CSS, and as you can see on the screenshot, we use an application of a fictional company called Acme here. We provide sample integrations and sample user for authentication and so on. So the purpose of demo portal is purely, as the name says, to give you something to start with. So you can get a feel of how the SDK works, how the engine works. As I said, under the hood is our JavaScript-based embed SDK, which powers this embedded experience. You can use it to play around or use it as a model for your own projects if you want. That's up to you. Our workflow designer is the place where you will build your integration workflows. Those of you who use our iPaaS will know how it looks. It is designed for exceptional ease of use to help you accelerate the process of building your integrations. As you can see, it is a drag and drop environment where you can easily leverage a large number of connectors to the most popular SaaS and IoT apps in order to orchestrate your flows easily. You can start from the scratch or use our pre-built integration recipes that we deliver with the product so you can accomplish what you want really very fast. You can organize your workflows in folders, we call projects, and so on. It is Node.js based and it supports developer tools like conditions, switches, looping, custom actions, and so on. And also in case where you need to build your own custom connector, we provide you with our connector builder to do that. One of the most important components of embed is, as I mentioned a couple of times, our embeddable JavaScript SDK. You will use the SDK to implement client-side libraries that are needed for your app to be able to use embed services, so your front-end developers can build really sophisticated embedded experiences. It comes with a number of pre-built templates for a quick start, or you can build from the scratch, of course, and this can be embedded in multiple apps. Using the functions and events of the SDK, you'll be able to really control your user experience end-to-end. As I mentioned, this is JavaScript-based, so it works nicely with modern web-based frameworks like React or Angular or Vue. So anytime I publish a new workflow, the SDK will pick it up and display it in your front end. So it's basically linking your front end with the back end. Once you have the portal and SDK in place and you build your first workflows, let's see what else integration developers and administrators can do with the product. So what you see here is our administration portal. We have a concept of solutions and stage management. So whenever you build a workflow, you can take that package, deploy it as a solution. This solution becomes then the kind of main mechanism as you move between different environments. So you can decide if you want to publish it or not. You can promote it between sandbox and production. You can see if any other users has already imported the solution and so on. So this is basically the place where you will be managing the life cycle of your integrations. Next, we have users and plans. As you might have different strategies in how you want your users to use the integrations, we have implemented a concept of plans. This will allow you to set up different plans with different metrics and add users to these plans. For example, you might have premium and basic customers, and you want your premium customers to have access to more integrations than basic customers. This is a very common use case. Or you want to define a certain limit in terms of transactions that can be executed by a specific group of users. This is also something that you can do using the plans feature. Here you can also monitor the usage. For example, you can see how many transactions are executed by a specific user. And this is basically a central place to view your users, monitor the usage, and assign them to plans. Last but not least, it is, of course, important for administrator to understand the health of the system and how well your transactions are performing. You want to be able to see how many workflows are being executed, how many of them perhaps failed, at what time, etc. Basically everything you need to do the debugging, so it gives you the ability to identify the issues and fix them on time if required. We also have top integrations and top users plotted over time, so you have a really good overview of what is happening with your integrations. Finally, I would like to point you to additional information in case you are interested to learn more. We have a number of interesting assets on our website. So if you go to softwareag.com/embed, you can download the white paper, fact sheet. There is a webinar including the demo of the product. In case you want to see even more, you can request a custom demo and we will connect you with one of our experts on this topic. Also, feel free to reach out to me in case of any other questions. So having said that, thank you very much, and back to you, Vance.
Mirza, thank you. Wow, what a great tour of a really terrific technology for a growing demand, I think, especially among our folks here that are both working directly on applications and have a very strong sense of the value of integration. So fantastic. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So, Mirza, with your permission, I think we can turn to some questions here. With no surprise, we've got quite a few from different job titles here in the audience. Let's start off with kind of a top-level question, if we could. You mentioned a lot of value for the SaaS vendors and the SaaS creators out there. And I wonder if we can also underscore a bit about how much Software AG's embedded integration can help with the traditional enterprise company, whether they be small or mid-size, even large companies. Can you walk us through a couple of use cases, what you're seeing in that space?
Yeah, sure. That's a really good question. Well, I would say that SaaS vendors are early adopters here, right? But there are a lot of other companies who have the same need, who have basically the same problem. I think it's basically a question of definition. For example, a telco company that is providing an IoT cloud solution to their business customers, they do not necessarily define themselves as a SaaS company, but they have a SaaS product, right, at the end. They have a cloud product that they're offering to the customers. Or a governmental organization that is offering smart city solution to citizens, they can also benefit from embedded integration. So I think SaaS vendors are early adopters, but there are use cases really across industries. In terms of the size, I do not really see a big difference either. For startups, this makes sense since they need to grow fast, they need to deliver innovation, they need to outsource this issue of building and hosting the integration infrastructure. So for them, speed and efficiency is really super important, and providing more connectivity than competitors can be very helpful. The customer example that I mentioned during my presentation is really a large enterprise, and they have a huge amount of transactions running on daily basis. So also here, I would say this has very similar relevance. If your goal is to improve your basically offering, reduce development efforts, and give your users more productivity, embedded integration can help regardless of company size.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about implementation. You mentioned that you have a large number of connectors to very popular cloud apps, and I know Software AG in general has got some of those capabilities as well. The question here says, what if we need to integrate an app that is not available in your pre-built connectors?
So we have, as you said, a bunch of pre-built connectors. You can go to our website and find the full list of the connectivity that we offer. But it's important to know that in case that we even do not have one that you need out of the box, you can use our connector builder framework to build your own custom connectors. As I mentioned also during the presentation, the platform is JavaScript based. If you are familiar with JavaScript, using our documentation that we provide with the product, you should be able to build any connector you need.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Mirza, it's a really good point. Here at the show, we've got folks that are traditional developers. We've also got folks that have become aware of how to really work well with APIs and that kind of traditional out-of-app, let's call it, integration. As you continue to roll out this capability, what are you finding are the best skills or the best types of developers or even integration people that could work with embedded integration?
Well, I think this product, the components that I showed during the presentation, require different skill sets, or it could be also the same skill set. So on one hand, you have a front end where developers are building the front end application. I said it could be a mobile app, it could be web portal, whatever. So they are basically implementing the SDK and they are implementing the front end design, for example. On the other hand, you have the people who build workflows. This could be the same person who is building the application, but it could be also somebody who's experienced with iPaaS. It could be also even a citizen integrator, which means a kind of subject matter expert who has some tech affinity and can build some simpler integrations. At some point, if you want to do some more complex stuff, to do some custom business logic within the integration, you would need to have some JavaScript or Node.js know-how.
Excellent, excellent. And in fact, you're touching on a question here that comes in. The light bulbs are going off, I think, about how to best use the embedded integration that you're talking about here, Mirza. And this question says, do I always integrate with one app, or can I build workflows? And I think you kind of mentioned that a few minutes ago, that can span multiple apps.
Yes, so you can actually do both. You can integrate only one application in order to execute specific actions within this application or call some information from this application. But of course, you can also build flows across multiple applications and let the users of your application then trigger these processes that you have built.
Fantastic, fantastic. And just to kind of underscore the kind of use case profiles you're seeing, another question kind of related, can I embed integrations into multiple sites or apps?
Yes, once you have built your integrations and published them as a solutions, you can take the SDK, embed it into one application or multiple applications, and you can power them with integrations so that you want to expose into each of these apps. I think I mentioned it during the presentation. Example, internal use cases, you might need to connect with Salesforce or ServiceNow. For external use cases, you might need Dropbox or something else. So yes, this is possible.
Mirza, this has been a really great conversation, a lot of different dimensions. In fact, a couple of comments here. What's the best way for folks to learn more or maybe go a bit deeper in the technology?
So I would suggest to go to softwareag.com/embed and request a custom demo, and then we can see what are the exact needs of a customer and figure out what is the best solution for them.
Excellent, excellent. And thanks to you and your team, we've got that very link here, right, in the breakout room under the view screen. So take a look at that, folks, and you can get directly to the Software AG website to request some more information about embedded integration. And so with that, let me thank Mirza Salihekich, Senior Product Marketing Manager at Software AG, for a terrific look at a new dimension for making component or compositized apps a lot faster to deliver and easier to maintain with embedded integration. And just a quick reminder, many of the assets that Mirza referred to in his slide deck are actually right here in the breakout room. You can get a hold of that link, as we mentioned, but you can also get some other terrific PDF downloads that'll take you into a little bit of a deeper dive into some some of these capabilities of embedded integration. And as you may expect, there's a lot going on here for now and into 2020 at Software AG for application architecture. Here is a slide that'll take you directly to the Software AG website. You download Burza's slide deck, and these links will be live. Thanks again, everyone.